Acting Homeland Security Secretary Kevin McAleenan was on Capitol Hill today, where he was questioned about the Trump administration's approach to immigration. Not long after McAleenan's testimony wrapped, President Trump waved a piece of paper in front of reporters, claiming a secret deal with the Mexican government had been completed. When asked about the deal by Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal, McAleenan said he'd wait for the president to make any new announcements.
What is the secret deal?
Yeah. So I'm certainly not going to share something in advance of the president whose references are shared in the future. Deal? So the deal with Mexico is a comprehensive approach, and it's more than we've ever had in terms of commitment from Mexico, both operationally, both on the program,
how much of it, though,
and in policy.
How much of it is not yet disclosed to the American public?
So they announced the operational efforts, 6,000 of their southern border, addressing transportation nodes, partnering with us on our shared border. The migrant protection protocol is being expanded to all 26 stations.
I know what he's announced, but the Foreign Secretary of Mexico denies there is any sort of undisclosed deal. How do you square that statement with the president's?
So I think the president's tweet stands for itself, and the announcement will be on his timeline. Respectfully, I would defer to the president's own statements on that matter and the coordination with the government of Mexico.
CBS News national correspondent Manuel Bojorquez joins me now from Ciudad Hidalgo near the Mexico-Guatemala border. So, Manny, do we have any sense of what is actually in this quote-unquote secret deal?
Not yet, at least from the Mexican side, although the foreign minister did say on Twitter earlier today that he would be releasing some documents pertaining to those discussions later this evening. We indeed could learn more. But again, here, just to paint a picture for you of where we are, this is the Suchiate River. That is Guatemala on that side, Mexico on this side. Much of what you see here are people just going back and forth every day for school, for work. They're carrying goods that they trade across the border. But this is also one of the points of entry for migrants coming up from Central America into Mexico and then trying to make their way to the U.S. So Mexico reiterating today that they plan to send 6,000 troops from their newly formed National Guard down to areas like this to try to stem the flow of migration up north, keenly aware that they want to make good on the deal that so far has avoided tariffs on the part of the U.S.
Manny, have you noticed any major changes in southern Mexico since this announcement of this National Guard deployment?
Well, even though we have not yet seen the National Guard down here, I can tell you from my previous reporting that federal police, immigration officials, they usually have not allowed us to get too close when it comes to seeing some of their operations. Today, we were at a checkpoint near the town of Tapachula. They seemed eager, actually, to let us get up to see what they were doing. They seem to be redoubling their efforts without the National Guard to try to get some of those Central American migrants removed and sent back to their country. So clearly there is a push here to show that this country is trying to make good on that deal.
Well, there's a clip I'd like to play, Manny, from today's hearing where Republican Senator Lindsey Graham laid out one of the persisting problems when trying to slow Central American migration to the U.S. Let's listen to that.
All the money in the world is not going to fix this problem in Central America as long as you can get to the United States and not be sent back. Life here is always going to be better than life there. Our goal is to improve life there and give people some hope in their own country. But what's odd about this disaster is that people are not trying to avoid being caught. They're looking for the first Border Patrol agent they can find to turn themselves in. A wall will not fix this problem. The only way the wall would fix this problem is to build it in Mexico so they'd never step a foot in the United States. But once you put 1 foot in the United States and you claim asylum, we have a major dysfunctional system.
I mean, Manny, are there efforts underway by the U.S. and Mexico to try to improve life in Central America?
Well, we can tell you that this has just been announced by Customs and Border Protection, that they're sending a team into Guatemala, an advisory team, to try to help border officials there. But again, that doesn't really go to the root of the problem. And that's what we keep hearing from people down here, especially in this part of Mexico. They have heard that the Trump administration has said if the Central American countries do not do more to curb migration to the U.S., that they would cut off aid. They do not feel that helps. People here, I can tell you, have said that they not only want the U.S., but also Mexico and other parts of the world to help Central America because they feel like they're caught between a rock and a hard place, wanting to help their brethren down south, but at the same time feeling overwhelmed by the sheer amount of people that are coming through here.
All right, CBS News national correspondent Manuel Bojorquez reporting from the Mexico-Guatemala border. Manny, thank you.